Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so, of course, I just got through listening to my last therapy session. Feel a lot better, and some more energy to share with you guys came my way as I was sitting there listening to that. So, the groceries, as I told you guys, decided not to buy the groceries because of the transaction and stuff like that. Same deal, nothing's changed, but wisdom has come my way because of thinking about it. And what came to me was, man, if I would have got the order that I was trying to get, for all I know, the apples would have been bad, one of the waters would have been open, the type of chicken I ordered probably would have been the opposite one. He would have substituted it. Like, sometimes you just gotta allow for what is passing you by to slip away, because it ain't for you. You know, I was thinking about something else, and prayers up to Lil Duval, man, but the wisdom of his circumstance is something I'm going to carry forward. I know he didn't just go through what he went through for that little coincidence that took place to just slip by all of our heads. Heck no, I read them leaves, boy. Them tea leaves is bright and red. And let me tell you what I saw there. Lil Duval, great comedian, man, broke his hip in a very, very bad four-wheeler accident. And you know, this is a situation where he's alive, but he's in a lot of pain. I'm praying for him and his healing. But I'm telling you, God was present in the details of his situation, because right before that accident, he had posted on his IG stories that he was trying to turn on that ATV and it would not turn on, and there was absolutely no logical reason for why that thing wouldn't crank on. And they were trying to fix it on his live, and he was asking people, if you could give him an answer for why that thing won't turn on, let him know, because it wouldn't turn on. And I guess they got it going, and the situation took place in that flurry. It wasn't supposed to turn on, or rather, it was meant for all of that to take place so that we could see it wasn't supposed to turn on, and what happens when you do something going against that energy. Now, if you don't believe in that type of thing, you may be offended by what I'm saying, and I respect that wholeheartedly. But I think some of us are living our lives on this world on different frequencies, and sometimes some of us live our lives with coincidences that other people don't have in their lives, things that tell us don't do that. And I do truly believe that some people are not on that frequency, but we have to believe in the differences of one another's paths, because some people, if you watch close enough, these things happen to them all the time. And even if these things don't happen in your life at all, you can look to the left and see that happening to them all the time. These type of coincidences are real, and we see them in different people's lives. And if you look enough at the signs, so to speak, you'll see this type of stuff all day long. And it's what spirituality is actually made of. These little coincidences that give you understandings of what you should just let pass you by. It's the same wisdom I was talking about in regards to using your power. Just because you have it don't mean you know all that you need to know to be seen best with that power in your hand, so that the consequences you want to have happen afterwards happen just the way you want them to. You can't perceive how things play out. Even if you do everything you can, you may end up doing more damage than you intend to. These things are all aligned and are there for us to see in the lives of the people around us. Excuse me. In the lives of the people around us. So these are the type of things I'm looking at. So just to tie it all in, I'm letting that grocery situation pass me by. I'm not going to frustrate myself with trying to make that transaction go through. For all I know, they bring me groceries and I'm not happy with what they bring. I wait for the situation to manifest in a way that makes it go freely for myself. And for all I know, the best possible groceries come. The apples are sweeter. The food is better. Now, of course, I can psych myself into thinking the opposite just the same. But the point is, the reality of circumstances are not necessarily there for you to know at all. You just gotta trust the signs sometimes, because the patterns of the wisdom being necessary for you to follow that voice inside or let things go, because you can see how it plays out in other people's lives. It's available to you to know and anticipate when you should too let things pass you by. Catch the next one. Let's not go in there right now. Let's wait an hour. Those type of things can be the difference between the best of circumstances and the worst. And a lot of times, the wisdom is there. Even if it doesn't necessarily make any sense, the hint will be in the air that you should just let it go. Don't fight that fight. Turn around and go the other way. Don't go down that street today. Not today. Those type of things are always available to us. And if we get to a point where we're keen, I guess is the word, keen enough to see the signs, maybe we can help ourselves in some of these situations. Maybe we can be wise enough to let our ego go. Maybe we can be wise enough to let some of that power struggle subside for the betterment of the long-term circumstance. Maybe it's important to dig deep and overcome what it is that makes us look or feel the way we do, so that we can stop doing the damage that we want to stop doing. However that formula works, I think it starts somewhere here in reading signs and just making good decisions based on that, and information that you already have on top of that, tangible information that holds so much weight in the presence of spirituality, in the presence of science. I think we lose sight of balance. You need some balance, I believe. Just like we talk about in sports with analytics and feel, you need both. I think both is very much important. The scroll method is something that I've mentioned before, and I want to reiterate that because it was something that came to me that aligns exactly with this. And I told you guys this, I think maybe in a therapy session, might have mentioned it in a video of some sort, some other way. But, I was sitting up one time in the art zone, doing a playlist thing, trying to put myself in a position to just feel good. And I'm praying, and I'm like, Lord, let's pick out a playlist. I'm going to randomly pick a playlist, and I want you to pick it out for me, In this moment, I'm just going to go random, and I dedicate whatever I land on to you. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, let me see, randomly. And when I land on something, I don't quite feel like I'm there. It's like, nah, I'm not settling on that. That's not what I feel like the Lord wants me to listen to. And then the analogy came to me as I'm sitting there in that space. You gotta wait and let me get to where we're going. If you're gonna allow me to choose, let us scroll. Let the scroll process take place. Let's scroll, because scrolling is what you do when you're trying to get the playlist to access. You are scrolling amongst different playlists to see if you can access the right one. Well, if you anticipate too quickly in this moment and you land on something that you didn't intend to land on, well, you didn't let the process take place for you to get the right playlist. Now you're going to click on something and it wasn't what was meant for you to be clicking on. You would have at best allowed the process of time to pass, with you being patient to let the scroll process take place, so that you can land on the right playlist, the one that is actually meant for you, not the one that you're anticipating moments before that, or the one that you would rather you land on after the one that's passed has scrolled. No. You want to land on the right one. See, that means that timing must be trusted upon. That timing is what you need to rely upon. If you're a believer, you got to let God's timing take place in your life. Don't try to use your own understanding. That's where that comes from, the logic behind that. Don't rely on your own understanding. That's kind of what we're talking about here. You got to let the scroll method take place. You got to let him get to that point where what's meant for you has come your way. If you don't let those other playlists pass you by, if you don't let that bus pass you by, you're going to get on the wrong bus. You're going to listen to the wrong playlist. Your vibe is going to be off. You're not going to get the blessing that the Lord intended for you to have. That groceries that I'm trying to go after right now, rotten eggs. I don't even want it. I think I want it, but the Lord's trying to help me avoid it. That ATV accident, I believe the Lord was trying to help Lil Duval avoid that. I think he wanted every bit of Lil Duval to not be a part of that. But since they were intent on getting it going, they were going riding that night, things transpired, but the Lord was still able to provide some blessings because Lil Duval is able to provide, care for himself, so he heals from the situation. He's going to heal. And we take the wisdom from that and we can apply it to our lives. To look and think about the scroll method, to think about being patient, to think about letting certain things go, to think about not forcing the issue, not forcing the universe, not forcing that relationship, not forcing that business decision, not forcing that path. We don't need to go there. That's not where we're going. Let the scroll method take place so that you can have the timing land in your favor for what is actually meant for you. Don't force that relationship, because you're letting the person that you're supposed to be with pass you by. That's not meant for you. You need to let this person pass you by so you can get that person that you're supposed to have that life with. That's the scroll method. That's the wisdom behind what it is we're talking about here. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys, man. The second therapy session. If this wisdom doesn't vibe with you, I understand. I'm a different type of guy. I'm a spiritual guy, and a lot of what I have going on is in faith, lacking information. So you must walk in faith because you don't have a whole lot of power. But I understand that too. And I think I can obtain information with that faith from where I'm standing. That's what miracles, I think, can be made of. It's the ability to believe in something that is not possible with a confidence that is led by a love for being better, I guess is what I'll call it. A love for improving, a love for wanting to be a lover of self and others, I guess is where I would say it stems from, you know. I don't use the word love very much because in my mind, growing up in the era I did, it correlates with being soft. Just like the connotation of certain other things that we don't talk about, but you have to unlearn a lot of stuff growing up in the 90s, you know? It's all about putting forth a face of being hard, but not actually representing any of that. A lot of the times, it's the era of being phony and raw, but really actually cowards on the inside and damaged, right? As to where this era is about, to me, somewhat of the opposite. These kids are completely and utterly what those guys wanted to be, while being completely the opposite with their voice and the way they dress. They disarm themselves of all of the necessary need to appear tough because they actually are. Right? So they get to cry. They get to tell you that they're drug addicts. They get to tell you all of these different things that my generation and the generation who raised me were scared to tell you because they were too busy trying to be and look hard and tough, right? So I think of love, when I say the word love, it's like I don't love. I love, but that's weakness. You don't see that. You know what I mean? You got to move around. As opposed to being secure in that space. Saying I love and what? You know what I mean? It's like the vulnerability and the strength in that. I've gotten off track. But I think all of that just kind of aligns with where I'm at this point in my life, trying to overcome certain things and just don't stand for nothing. When I look around and I see people who are 20 years younger than me dying, you know, in different ways, violence and drugs and different things. They don't live their lives even find out some of the stuff that I've come to understand. And I just understand I got so far to go before I'm in a space where I'm confident like I need to be, you know. Or I can say the word love on this camera without having any negative connotation whatsoever. Unlearning bullcrap that never served me in the first place. You know, that's the beauty of having a a space of isolation, I guess. If nothing else, you get to look inward and see all of this. You know, that's what this has done for me. But anyway, I think this video is going long enough. I got to the point of what I wanted to say. This is the second therapy session of the day, so ain't no sense of continuing on. You got the point. I appreciate everybody for rocking with BDF 44. I'm out.